Hey everybody, I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
Today we have our top 10 games that we learned in December 2023.
That's right. So we do this every single month where we take all of the games that we play in a month, which usually is somewhere between 40 and 100 new games.
60 most of the time.
Most of the time it's 60. There are some months that it's 40. There's one month every single year that it's usually 90 to 100.
That's a lot, yeah.
Because we end up playing a lot of games that month.
Yeah.
These are not games that came out in December 2023. There are, and they are not all review games. Some of these are just games that we have picked up from...
Or played or whatever.
That we play at a friend's house, that we end up picking up used. In any case, these are our 10 best new games to us this month.
Yeah, and I actually didn't even learn any new expansions this month.
What?
I know, it's unusual. Usually I learn at least one.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, so none this month. Just on the go. December's always really busy, right?
Yep.
So
you always do a new to me list.
Yep.
Every single month. So if you're not just interested in the top 10, but you want to see everything, then you can look at your top 10 your new to me list on Board Game Geek every single month.
Yep. So that will come out, I think, Wednesday, and I think I'll post my favorite games of 2023 later this week. And for right now, I'll tell you that I learned 650 games in 2023. I'm not learning anymore today.
No, you're done.
This is December 31st, and I'm officially calling it done with learning games. Now, I still have 2 more games to play to make sure I hit the numbers I want to hit.
Because you want 900, so you're at 909 games.
And I want to make it
unique games.
Unique games, and
not plays. Now, how many plays is it?
1915.
It will be 1915 with 910 unique titles.
Yeah.
With 650 new to you.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out what mine is.
So that's pretty good.
Because I do keep track
today, and yeah.
For those of you who like to keep track of things like this, BG Stats is a fantastic app that you can download. I believe it is free unless you want extra bells and whistles, and then it's only like $1 or $2.
Yeah, it's like $3.
It costs $1 a year to back up your data to the cloud. I started that as of yesterday.
Yeah.
So
I started it earlier this year because I'm like, it's so cheap, and if for whatever reason the phone dies or whatever, there's a backup copy of it.
Yes.
Because there's so much information there, I don't want to lose it, so just back it up.
Now, I don't have the last couple of games that we played.
Okay.
But I am at 1,197 plays. I'll either hit 1,199 or 1,200 tonight.
Woohoo!
701 unique games. So I'm over 700. 591 new to me.
It's a lot.
But I think I might have one that I have not put in here. So, but that is approximate stats for me for the year, which we'll give out those stats when we do our top 23 of 2023, which is going to be coming up probably on Wednesday.
Probably Wednesday if we can work it out.
So,
all right, shall we jump into this?
I think we should.
All right, so because you're going to do your number 10.
I'm going to do my number 10 because I always start. Yep. Because you're the star of the show.
Yeah, I'm the star.
That's right. Or actually, Senor Azul is the star. But don't tell him that because he gets a big head. So, my number 10 is Unexpected. It came in an old orange beat-up box. It is a used copy we picked up from somewhere that we end up picking up games. And it is from North Star Games. It's not a review copy, just one we've had on the shelf and we had never played, called Clubs. So I'm a sucker for trick-taking games or ladder climbing games or any of that sort of game. And we're going to have more of those on this list. I'm going to spoiler right now and say there are more of those on this list. But my number 10 is clubs, where you are trying to collect tricks with clubs on them. There are rules that will set this apart from things like hearts and spades. As you can see on the box, it says if you like hearts and spades, you'll love clubs. I do think that is probably true. Now, if you're a die-hard hearts or spades lover, will this make you switch your game of choice? Maybe not. But, I mean, why not add in a game like this every now and then? And also Diamonds is out, so now there's a game named for each of the suits. So,
It's true.
but yeah, trying to collect cards with the clubs on them. And it's weird. Some of these smaller number clubs have a lot of clubs on them. So if you're playing them in, you want to make sure to not lose it to the people who are not on your team.
Yeah, so you're trying to go out like first, second, or third to get little extra bonus points. So yeah, it's a pretty standard. I would say it's pretty good. It's hard not to compare it to something like Teach You, but Teach You is just so much better.
Oh yeah,
for me, it didn't. This one didn't make my list because I don't really see the occasion where I would be playing it again, but I wouldn't mind. Like, I could play it again. I just feel like if I'm going to play a card game, it will probably likely be Teach You.
Well, yeah, but Teach You is like, I would say, in your top 10 or 20 games of all time, too.
5.
So, I mean, it's not like it's really hard to compare that to this.
That's yeah, I get that.
Still, of December, this is my number 10.
That's fair.
And that's Clubs from North Star Games. If you can find a copy, I'm sure it will be relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, so, especially used. You can find it used. But,
sure.
I'm glad we got to learn it, for sure.
And me as well.
All right.
You're number 10.
Number 10, you actually didn't play it.
I have not played it. So, matter of fact, spoiler, there are 4 games on your top 10. I don't know how this happened, folks, because I usually read all the rules. And I'm usually playing all of these games with you.
Yep.
But you did take a trip back up to the Northeast.
I did, and I learned some on BGA.
You did learn some on BGA that I've not learned.
I know, so those kind of games. So this one I actually got taught while I was visiting friends in Massachusetts. It's called The White Castle.
Yeah, down here we have Crystal.
Right.
Oh, we have White Castles too.
This is a dice drafting game where you get basically like 9 actions in the whole game or something, and you have to like make it work.
Wow.
It's a management situation where you're placing these dice.
Well, with only 9 moves, you have to be really careful.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to take bad actions because that will hurt you in the long run. But it's from DeVere Games. And I've seen a lot of people playing it recently and enjoying it, so I wanted to try it. It actually was a Secret Santa gift for me.
Oh, wow. Was not a review copy.
Right. So I actually have it, but I never got to play it yet. So,
So you got Red Cathedral and White Castle.
Yeah, and I think so. Same designers.
Yeah.
I think I like Red Cathedral still better. So, like, if I'm gonna pick one to play, I would still choose the Red Cathedral.
However, with it being on your top 10 of the month.
Yeah, it's solid. But again, I think it takes a play because, like, now that I've played, like, I probably should have done other things. And, like, I only lost by 1 point, so it's not like I did, like, bad things. But I feel like I could have done something else. I don't know. It's one of the... I need to play it again. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. Is that it kind of like, whoa, what do I do? Like, how do I use these dice to benefit me? But...
Well, I love dice games.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. So we'll try playing it sometime in the near future.
Then we'll bring it to you on stream.
That's the plan. That's really good. I'm glad I got to try it.
And that's the White Castle from DeVere.
Yep.
My number 9 game we just played for y'all.
Oh yeah, so fun.
The other day.
Yeah.
And it is Get On Board Paris and Roma from Yellow and distributed by Flat River Group.
Yeah.
So on Get On Board, you are trying to optimize your rail lines. Basically, it's a flip and draw, except you're not really drawing on the board. You're placing the tokens on the board, and then you're just marking off things on your score sheet. So, uh, one side of the board is for low player counts. The other side of the board for higher player counts. I really would like to play this with different boards and different player counts because the more players that you have, the more chance that you can make these things called connections, and that will give you extra points. That means laying your track next to somebody else's track that's already on the board.
So, fun fact in Let's Make a Bus Route,
is that like Let's Make a Bus Route?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
You don't make connections, you make traffic. So you get negative.
Oh, it's negative. It's negative on that. Yeah.
So you want to take all the good routes before everybody else. So yeah. But yeah. It's the same idea, except now they made it a little nicer with the metro and
right.
I like it a lot. I think it's great.
So you're trying to pick up grannies and tourists and flirts and students. And I think that's it. And you're trying to take you're just trying to take them to the locations the tourists want to go to, the opera and the somewhere else.
The students want to go to school.
Want to go to the theater.
Or library.
They want to go to the theater. Oh. The cinema.
Okay.
And the flirts want to go to a nice restaurant. But I always, whenever you draw, you place your track through a granny, you're like, I'm going to run over Granny here.
Gotta run over Granny.
Run over Granny to get those
Too
points.
many grannies.
So it's a nice little optimization thing. There's only 12 turns. You have to decide, if we roll up a card, like ticket number 2 for me is going to be different than ticket number 2 for you. Like it might have me going 1 space. It might have you going 3 in a straight line. So you might like certain tickets better than somebody else will like them. And you're trying to go through certain metro stops to get extra bonus points. Basically just a flip and right optimization game. And that is my number 9. Get on board Pearson Roma, provided to us by Yellow and Flat River Group.
Yeah. All right. Good choice. Good choice. My number 9 is, hey, guess what? It's Redwood.
We just played this on stream.
We just played it. So if you're looking for a rules teach, go ahead and go find that video. It's from Sit Down and Flat River Group, provided to us. I was very excited for this one because of the
two Flat River Group games.
Oh, a lot of them. I mean, Danny is very nice to us.
It's great.
We will show all of the games that she provides always. So
all the games.
So Redwood, it has a theme of photography. So I was instantly drawn in because most people know that I'm a photographer. I love it. I love the idea of trying to position yourself properly to take the perfect shot. This is my 2024 gaming calendar that I made. I am excited for it, so make sure to order that.
On stephshop.company.site.
Yes. So theme is awesome. It's different because you have to visualize something. There's other visual games out there like Looney Quest where you're trying to draw the certain length and then you kind of check. But this one you have to try and estimate which pieces will get you where you want to go. So I like this element of it. Not a lot of games have it, so it feels along the lines of a unique game, even though I'm sure other things have done it. It's just, it's not a common mechanic. So I can definitely applaud that. And it's really a fun game for me. So
very unique. Oh, wait a second. I just realized there was a game this month that I had left off the list.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to add it in.
All right. He'll rework it.
I'll rework it.
But so I highly recommend checking out Redwood. I really enjoyed it. So here we go. I'm just gonna keep going until he says.
Just gonna keep going.
Unless you want to cut number 8.
No, I'm not gonna cut any. I'm just gonna have
a bonus at the end,
like a 7.5 or a 6.5, wherever it falls in there.
Okay.
It's I'm looking over there and I'm like, we played that this month. Why is it not on here? And then I realized
you forgot.
Well, in my rush to get everything done today.
Oh.
Yes. Now you know, don't
I
you?
know which one it is.
You know exactly which one it is. So let's talk about my number 8. It is from Cut Games, provided to us by Cut Games. It's called Keep It 100.
Yep.
So in Keep It 100, we played this on stream with the stream.
Yep.
And in this game, you are trying to guess out of 100 people responded, how many do this? So out of 100 gamers that were polled, how many go to sleep after midnight every night? And so you will guess how many percent that is based on
the answer.
I know, right? Based on different targets that are out here. So if you've got a 25 and a 50 on the board, you can either put it less than 25%, between 25 and 50%, or between 50 and 100%. And then everyone else at the table is going to bet on whether you are right or whether you are too low or too high. And you're going to get half the points as the person making the guess. Regardless of where that answer ended up, you are going to leave that number there, and that is going to change the intervals that you have for the rest of the game. And you're going to play till everyone is out of cards. And so it's a really cute little party game. Nice. Definitely, it's one that I will definitely be willing to pull out. I look at this in the same vein as games like Wavelength or Pinpoint, things where you're trying to guesstimate on a scale from 1 to 100 where something is. Mm-hmm. This is yet another way of presenting a game like this.
Yeah.
So, and that is my number 8 game. Keep It 100.
Nice. I like it. I think it's fun. It didn't quite make my list, but I still had a great time playing it. My number 8 is a game we actually learned yesterday, and it is called King of Monster Island from Yellow and provided by Flat River Group. Now, I can't say I'm the biggest King of Tokyo fan. I think I like the game okay, and I will play it occasionally. I like rolling chonky dice, but
chonky dice.
What they've done here is they made it cooperative. So I instantly put this to the top of my King of Tokyo list of games. If I were to play any of them, it would be this one because I enjoy the cooperative experience. And you're fighting the big monster that's coming after you, and he's got his little cute minions also trying to blow you up, and you're just trying to get him down to 0. Now we had some unfortunate luck in our game, but we still managed to pull it out in the end.
Unfortunate luck in that they almost created the interdimensional portal to win. And it was the easiest one.
Yeah, we were all the easiest. So when we play it on stream, maybe we'll try a slightly harder one, but even still. What I like about this is that you get your character, you don't really have any powers, but as soon as you start getting specials, fame, you can choose the faction or the powers you want for the game. So each game you're going to have different options. There's 6 different options as far as I remember. And so you can basically, if you have 5 stars, you'll get these 2 different bonuses. And yeah, it's just, I think what they do here is really nice, and they give you 3 different bosses. You can play them on different hard modes and all of that. So it comes together really nicely in a good package. So, and Michael may or may not be talking about this in the near future.
We're streaming it here in a little bit.
I know, so I'm very excited for that anyway. Cool. So that was my number 8.
That is King of Monster Island from Yellow and provided by Flat River Group.
Yep.
My number 7 is a game by the OP called the A.R.T. Project. This is a cooperative game where each of us has a role where we are trying to go out and collect these bits of artwork. And as we're collecting them to keep them out of the bad guys' hands. And so we are collecting sculptures and film and music and things like that that are going to pop up in these different locations, and trying to roll the dice in order to pick up these bits of art. And unfortunately, there are bad guys that are trying to take over these cities and will steal the art that is in those cities. But once they've taken over the city, you can no longer move through that city, which, depending on the map that you're on, can make it really difficult to move around. We've only played a couple of different maps, so I'm interested in where this goes. I love co-ops. I'm not 100% convinced that it won't feel samey after a few plays. However, I have enjoyed the plays that we have done so far. I like that as you will collect all of these things, as all of these bits of art, and you get some extra minions on your side, which will give you more dice. The other side gets stronger as well. So each of the minions becomes a little bit stronger as you go. So, but it is interesting enough to make my number 7 on my list. That is the A.R.T. project from the Op.
Yep. My number 7 is a game that I've been playing a lot of on Board Game Arena called Faraway. This game is so simple and so quick. I really like it, but I also am like, how do I play it well? I don't know. I've played it a lot, but it's just I still can't play it well. So basically, you're just drafting cards into your tableau. But the thing is, my first card that I draft will be the last card scored. So basically, all these cards might need things like requirements, like little symbols or something, or they might have conditions for scoring, but it only scores for what it sees. So the first card you play will see everything else, but the last card you play will see nothing. So if the last card you play has 3 requirements for it to score anything, you will have to figure out other ways. So there's these special like sanctuary cards, and to get those you need to play a higher number than the previous one that you just played. So if round 1 I play a 7, a value card 7, and the round 2 I play a 30, hey, I'm going to get a sanctuary card. If I have any of the cool maps, I'll get the number of maps plus 1 in sanctuary cards, and that's my choice for what sanctuary card I get to draft. So you get these cool sanctuary cards that will give you like a symbol or small scoring situations, and you're just trying to score the best you can with what you're given and how you draft the cards into your hand. It's very simple, and yet it's very hard to do well. So it's a really nice little game. So I need to play it in person, I think, just to see if it holds up versus just online. But
yeah, I've not played it.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. I think it's cute. I think it's
plays fast.
Yeah, it feels balanced, but it also is very hard. So, but it's very easy at the same time.
Hard and easy.
There you go. I mean, I don't know. It kind of blew me away. So I'm glad I got to try it on BGA, and I'll continue to play it. Maybe I'll get better, but we'll see.
So that is your number 7 game, Faraway from Catch Up Games.
Yep.
My number 6 game is from A.R.T Game and FRG. We played this with the stream. It is Mystery Detective Volume 1 Classic Cases. Now, this is a repackaging of 2 of their older boxes that they've sort of put together. And I really had a lot of fun on both sides, both guessing and on being the clue deliverer, and knowing what the story was behind everything. So, and then we played the ones that we knew with you guys on the stream, and so hopefully y'all enjoyed it as well. If you haven't checked out our video on this, be sure to do so and see if you can guess everything along with the stream when we played it with
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, as the clue giver, I can give yes or no information. I cannot answer specific questions like what color were they wearing. Can't answer that. You could say, Were they wearing a red shirt? No. Were they wearing a yellow shirt? No. Were they wearing a shirt? Yes. And you could sort of narrow things down from there. So you can ask as many questions as you want. There's not really a time limit. So I like that that there's no pressure. You can ask anything you want and you don't feel like you're being penalized.
Right.
Like in some of the other detective sort of games. This is just ask if you have a question, ask it.
Some weird situations in those stories.
I mean, you really have to think outside the box in a lot of them. Like a woman comes in asking for a glass of water. It comes into a bar asking for a glass of water. The bartender raises a gun and points it at her, and she thanks him and walks off. What happened? Why did this happen? Well, I'm not going to spoiler it, but you can watch our video and find out. That is Mystery Detective Volume 1, Classic Cases.
Yes.
I'm sure I want to play through all 100 cases.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. They're good. Me.
I've not played this one either.
My number 6 I found on Board Game Arena as well. It's called Dracula versus Van Helsing from Korea Board Games. Super love this game. It's a 2-player game. One person is Dracula and one person's Van Helsing. Dracula's trying to basically turn a grouping of 4 humans into vampires. There's little sections on the board. You're going to have your cards lined up 5 in a row in front of you on both sides. So this guy's like we're kind of in line with each other for one region. So our cards are going to duel at some point.
So one person being Dracula, one person being Van Helsing.
Yeah, and so whoever wins the duel, either they're going to be protected and not get turned to a vampire, or they're going to get turned to a vampire. And every time the Van Helsing scores or doesn't it prevents the vampire from being made in that region, Dracula will take a hit. So he's got 12 life. So it's tricky because each turn you're basically just drawing a card and you're either going to discard it for its ability or put it into your card display, which face down, which you don't know. The card you replace gets discarded for its ability. So all these different cards have abilities. So when you're discarding, you're activating these abilities, and they all do crazy things. They change the trump value of the different suits, or they might like switch positions of either side. But ultimately, you're trying to win each region. If you're Van Helsing, you're just trying to deal damage to Dracula to get him to 0. Dracula's trying to get those 4 vampires in one region. Somebody, once 6 cards have been discarded, someone on their turn can say, I'm calling the end, but the other person still gets one more turn. So they get final say sort of thing. So it's a little bit of, well, am I ready to call the ending, or should I let it go one more time and maybe they'll call the ending? But the longer you go, the more likely they get better cards, or they get better abilities to switch the trump on you. And then it's like, oh, well, I should have called it. So it's a little bit of tug of war, but it feels different, and it has a really cool flow to it. So I was very impressed by this one. Glad again that, all these cool games are showing up on Board Game Arena that I get to try. This one I think is actually getting picked up for U.S. distribution, so hopefully we'll get to try that in real life,
right here in front of us.
Yeah, because it's really cool. So I'm very excited for it.
Dracula versus Van Helsing from Korea Board Games.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm going to sneak in.
Oh, you're sneaking it in.
Sneaking it in right here.
Cool.
I think this is where this game belongs.
All right, this is where it goes.
So this is now actually my number 6. Okay. So my 6 moves down to 7, 7 to 8, etc.
Got it.
Sorry, North Star. You do get on the video, but now you're number 11. So
that's fair.
This one, like I say, I have no idea. Once a year, I leave out a game that I'm like, oh no, I meant to put that in this year or this month or whatever it is. And so this one was I don't know why. I just scrolling through, I just did not notice the name of this game, but it was an enjoyable experience. We did get to play this 4-player. It's called Last Light, provided to us from Gray Fox. So we were promised this back at Gen Con. they ran out of copies. We did eventually get it at BGG Con.
Yeah.
And we're really excited to play it because this game has such table presence.
It looks awesome.
With the 3D planets, they are so beautiful.
Yeah, the whole production's amazing.
So you are each basically starting off in a corner of the galaxy on your own little star base, and you're going out and you are upgrading your ships and basically going and collecting light. And you're trying to collect it from the sun in the middle of the galaxy, I guess. And it's really interesting that each of these, as you move closer to the sun, the rings are going to rotate around the center of the game board, and it causes the game board to shift and change. I would not necessarily say that this is a war game or a take that sort of game, but you are trying to take ownership of planets away from other people so that you can collect those nice resources, harvest them for yourselves. Basically, it's a simultaneous action reveal sort of game, and then you all go and do what you're going to do with your planets, or whether you're going to build stuff, or whether you're going to move around. It's got a little bit of an abstract feel. It's got a little bit of a wartime engine production sort of feel, all wrapped up in this game. There's not a lot. I know a lot of people like to call this a 4X game, and I don't quite agree with that at all, because there's not really a lot to explore out there. Yeah, you get to a planet and
you get a small bonus.
You get a small bonus, and it's not like you're really exploring the planet much. You are building up units and sending them out, but it's not really a war game. So I think part of the problem is that I'm not sure it knows what it wants to be, but it is still an enjoyable experience. And again, the oversight is just on my part. Not that I didn't enjoy it. It's just the oversight was, I did not even notice it on the list as being one of my new to me games. And but hey, it's supposed to go right here at number 6.
Made it just in time.
It did make it just in time. Well, fortunately, it's before the stream ended, and I can fix my mistakes.
Yes.
That's Last Light from Gray Fox Games. Now, you had that one did not make your list.
It just missed it.
It's
really close to it. Yeah. So
I am interested in playing in a smaller player count.
We will play.
But I think I enjoy it. I think I will enjoy it more at the higher player count. But I think 3 might be a sweet spot. So
yeah. So we'll go with your number 5 right now.
So yeah, now I guess we'll go with my number 5 now that I sneaked in a number 6. My number 5 is Age of Wonders Planetfall from Arcane Wonders. In this game, you are deciding which of these technologies that you are going to build. Basically, you're exploring planets 1 through 7 over 7 rounds, right? So the first time you're exploring planet 1, and you've got some bad guys on this planet, and you've got some technologies on this planet, and you've got some maybe some mining you can do on this planet or whatever, and you have to try to send out your stuff based on what you can feasibly collect based on your strength and your energy that you have, and how much experience that you have. If you do have enough experience or strength, then you can attack the bad guys, and that might give you some bonuses. Usually, if you fight bad guys, you will get energy. If you diplomatically negotiate with the bad guys with energy, you will get strength, because you are recruiting them to your cause. So I think thematically, that really works out a lot. So yeah, I'll fix our list later on now that you've got you're correcting the list.
I'm reminding myself for when I do it later.
Oh, got you. I think one of the really cool things about it is that you basically do 2 things every single planet. And based on whether you take a first, second, or third line action, they call it, I guess, row 1, 2, and 3. row 3 things are easier to deal with. You get the same benefits as if they were in row 1, but they're in row 3. However, you're going to get to draft the next thing you do later. So if you're down in the third row. So if I do a third row thing and Steph does a second row thing, then the next time we are drafting these things, then Steph will get to go first. I will go after. And then based on where she chooses this one, we're going to go first or second based on that. So I really like the flow of that. All of the different alien races have different powers and different abilities, and I really enjoy it. I'm a sucker for asymmetry in games like that. So really enjoyed playing Age of Wonders Planetfall from Arcane Wonders.
Yeah, it's super good. My number 5 is, hey, guess what?
Hey, guess what?
Get on board.
Whoa.
I know, Paris and Roma. I love the Get on Board series. I love Let's Make a Bus Route. The game for me is like super fun. It's also on Board Game Arena if you want to try it. So it's all there. It's very easy. It's a flip and write, and it works well. I always have fun with it. So trying to plan those routes.
Yep. Several years ago, you were known for when roll and writes were the new thing.
Yeah,
probably 2017, 2018, 2016. I mean, when roll and writes were big, you were known as the girl who did all the. I
played them all.
You played.
It's impossible to keep up.
Yeah,
there's so many.
So many so that by 2018 you had a box of roll and writes that you would carry around with you that had a set of dice, a set of pencils, or dry erase pens,
stuff, yeah,
laminated sheets for umpteen different games.
Yeah, I got it.
Avenue and Ganshun Clever and all of these things.
Everything, yeah.
And so I know that you have been really excited to see where this genre has gone with roll and writes and flip and writes and all those sort of things. So
yeah, I mean, this is a simple 12 card flips and then you're done. So get the best route you can and hit all the spots, and hopefully you got what you need to win.
This is not as combo-tastic as some of the other ones, but it is very strategic.
Yeah, I think it's really, really cute. Yeah. So I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah, that was your number 5. Get on board Paris and Roma from Yellow and Flat River Group.
Yeah.
My number 4. Hey, my number 5 was Arcane Wonders. Guess what my number 4 is? It's also Arcane Wonders. It is Mobile Markets. It's from the Smartphone Inc. universe.
Yeah.
Thanks to Arcane Wonders for both of those games because we really enjoyed them. We also played this one on stream, so we played it at 2 players. We've played it at 4 players, and I think I enjoy it both ways. I think I probably enjoy it more with more players, but I will say definitively that I enjoy Mobile Markets much more than I enjoy Smartphone Inc. It's basically I think it's more elegant, more streamlined.
Yeah,
I
get that.
I don't need the Smartphone Inc. map, I think, and this basically strips all of that away.
Yeah,
and so you're just focusing on the technologies that you're putting into your phones and then marketing them to the customers that will pop out. The customers may want either a cheap phone or a phone that does a certain thing. And so if you can either make it cheap enough or make it do what they want, those customers will buy your phone. There are some customers who just want a good mid-level phone. There are some customers who only the premium technologies work for them. They will need a combination of a couple of technologies or features. And here's the thing, they will be willing to pay top dollar for it. So there's a little bit of pull and tug here with, do you want to be the person that sells the cheapest phones with just a few technologies that you don't have to create, you don't have to spend a lot to make these phones? Or do you want to be the person who goes for the high technologies? Yeah, you might be getting eight of the currency, $8 per phone, that you're going to spend $4 per phone trying to make. But if somebody sells phones super cheap, maybe those customers are gone and you don't have anyone to sell to. Well, that's a risk that you take, and I really love the second guessing of your opponents in that. Now, when both times that you played, I think you got frustrated that every time, and this happens on games like this, every time you choose something, someone undercuts you just barely, and then it really makes you frustrated. Isn't that right? Maybe.
I don't know.
Hey, thanks for following Strange Kabuki.
Thanks for following.
But I really enjoy games like that because I like games where I have to mitigate a disaster, and in this case, my opponents are my disasters. Not only that, there are events that pop up that you sort of have to roll with those events to try to make them work out for you. And so I think that for these reasons, I really enjoy.
I like that they kept the same like 2 boards that you have as the player, so you're trying to puzzle these things together to get what you want for your action. So I'm glad that they kept that, because that's an interesting little way of
you layer the boards on top of each other, and based on what you see, that's what the actions you get. I like that.
How much money you get and how many goods you get for the round, and so I think that's a clever way of doing it.
Yes.
So
a lot of elegant things with that.
Glad to play it.
That is my number 4, Mobile Markets from Arcane Wonders.
Yep. My number 4
is another game I have not played.
Yeah, again, I played this one in Massachusetts. It's called Tipperary. It has sheep. It has fields.
And that's Tipperary. Bye.
No, it has.
My number 4 is Tipperary. It has sheep.
So it kind of has there's one mechanic which I wish was a little bit more like Planet Unknown, because it has the quadrants. It has 6, because you can play with 6 people. It has 6 quadrants, but you just spin it to see where your symbol lands. So it's random how you get pieces, but they're big polyomino pieces, maybe up
Do you
to
spin like a big spinner?
Basically.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and so it will land in a section, and wherever the section is where your picture is, you get to choose from 2 polyomino pieces. Mm-hmm. You're trying to create different regions on your little play area of different, so they score differently, and you're trying to make it all work, and you get cool bonuses, and it's a fast 20-minute game, but you get to play polyominoes, and you get to try and puzzle it out. So it's very puzzly. Obviously, it's something I enjoy because I want to play again, and I really it stands out for me. So it's Lookout Spiel. They always do games I want to play, so I was happy I got to try it, and hopefully we'll add it to the collection at some point. It's one of those.
Hey, Lookout, give us a call.
All right, exactly. But yeah, I really like that one, so it's good.
Tipperary from Lookout Spiel.
Yep.
My number 3 game. I did mention that I'm a sucker for trick-taking, ladder climbing games. I'm also a sucker for hidden trader, hidden role games. And hey, you get both with Harry Potter Unmask, the Death Eaters from the A.R.T. Surprised this is not on your list. I thought for sure it would make it even somewhere at it's trick-taking.
It's really.
It has some of that.
Well, no,
where you're trying to.
No, you're betraying people. Maybe.
Yeah.
You have to break. if you're in charge,
it's not really trick taking, but
But if you're in charge, you can be like, okay, you guys can help me, and then everybody's
but everyone contributes.
Hands in a card. Yeah. That could be good or bad, and then the person looks at it and be like, "Oh, we got badness here."
Right.
And they might have done it themselves, but
yeah, I shouldn't have said trick taking. No, it's not. It's card contribution.
A hidden role game. Yeah. So it actually had fun. This is one of the better hidden role games.
And see, when you said that, I was like, oh, for sure, this is gonna make your top 10.
I still am not good at hidden roles, and I'm not like, let's play a hidden role game. So it's not my jam, but
I love it.
If I'm gonna play one, this is a really good one to play.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure to get the high recommendation from Steph, just for those of you who don't generally go for hit and roll games.
Yeah.
So one of you is playing for the Death Eater side, and or more of you actually, depending on your player count.
That's true.
Everyone and the other players are going to be playing as legit, members, and you each have certain roles, and you might say, oh, well, you need to send me because I can provide this sort of thing, or you have to take me because I am the only one of this type of this house of spellcasters.
Yeah, right.
And so you have to take me along, and then you sort of try to figure out who are working for the Death Eaters, and you have to try to root them out. Or
halfway through the game is like the Battlestar thing, where you get a second roll and you might end up turning bad, and so you're like, well, now who's really good or who's really bad? So if you are a bad person, you want to play it so people think you're not bad, because there comes a time where people are gonna think, all right, who do we vote for?
I thought you were bad.
I played it well. I don't know. I was a team player the whole time.
Yeah.
But in the end, you asked me to say who the bad people were. Yeah. You trusted me for that, and I did. Well, so we won.
I wanted you to say who you thought it was. Sometimes I can get a read on you for what you say. Anyway, totally worth checking out, especially if you love hidden trader games. Harry Potter, Unmask, the Death Eaters from the Up. You're number 3.
What? We just talked about it.
Yes, we did.
It is Age of Wonders, Planetfall.
Wow.
I really like this one.
Highly rated on your list.
It's a simple drafting game with a lot of thought, because we only played it 2-player. I'm gonna bring it to game night and play with like 4 people. And I think it's gonna shine.
I think it will shine. Yes, I totally think it'll shine with more players,
because there's gonna be a lot more like, well, I don't want to go last because I want this other card, and so there's gonna be a lot more of like.
There was not as much pressure.
Yeah.
When it was 2 players.
But even still, I can see the potential, and I would even play it again with 2 people. So for me, it definitely falls into that like really good, easy to learn, like, good 40-minute game. Like if you're gonna play with more than 2 people, it's going to really fast, but like
relatively easy to teach.
Yeah, because you just draft cards and you try and get set collections and different points in different ways. And we've had really close. I think I lost both games.
Both games about 1 point,
and we've done totally different strategies in all the games. So it's like I think it's pretty well balanced.
So it's not like where I did the same thing each time.
Yeah. No.
We're doing different
still
things.
1 point.
1 point.
And the different powers, like you said, it all comes together really nicely.
But it also doesn't feel like it's a coincidence, because I don't think we're rubber banded together.
No, neither do I.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's super streamlined. It's elegant game. It's nice. So it deserves the recognition, and people need to play it.
I agree. That is
my number 3.
Age of Wonders Planetfall from Arcane Wonders. My number 2, we've already talked about. It is from Yellow and Flat River Group, King of Monster Island, which we're about to play here in a minute.
Yep.
It is so.
We played it yesterday, so he must have really liked it.
Yeah, King of Tokyo came out, and it was pretty fun. It was back when it came out, it was a new sort of thing.
Yep.
As a Yahtzee type of dice chucker where you're trying to roll certain types of faces and trying to be the one to gain the most fame for being in the middle of Tokyo. And when you're in the middle of Tokyo, you're taking all of the damage. Then King of New York came out, and that added in little units that you would place around. That was not only did you have to deal with the other monsters, well, you also have the army coming after you to try to knock you out. Yeah. And I really enjoyed that little addition. It was like a more advanced version of King of Tokyo. Well, now we've got King of Monster Island, And what did I say about co-ops? I'm a sucker for co-ops.
I like the little dice tower, volcano dice tower too. I think that's kind of cute.
Yep. Then there is actually a mechanic with that. So you've got these little boss dice that you put in the top of the volcano. They will hit the center, sort of like a dice tower, but it's not really a dice tower. Yeah. But it does make them go. The dice go on different parts of the board.
Yeah.
Now the monster, the whatever big boss bad guy monster that you are trying to collectively defeat, they are going to try to go towards where the larger amount of dice are, because that's going to give them more minions and it's going to give them more crystals, because they're trying to create an interdimensional portal with these crystals in order to win the game. So if any monster dies, you lose. If the portal gets created, you lose. But if you get the bad guy down to 0 health, you all win. Yay! And we'll be playing that after this stream. So, hey, if you're checking this out on YouTube, you might check out this video next. King of Monster Island from Yellow. Which means the number 1 game's got to be really good if that one is really good.
Yeah, well, my number 2.
Your number 2
is the Art Project, which you talked about. It obviously hit home for me more so than you. I thought you would have put it a little bit higher on your list, but I really like how painful it is. Like they make the game so hard. Like, well, this card is pretty good, but we're gonna lose so much stuff, and then if we have no stuff, then you can't play your card. But if we can get these 2 pictures together, then we can get the artwork to show up, and we need that in order to win the game. So
yeah, we have a limited amount of resources, and you have to spend. You've got 2 cards to choose from, and you say,
we have these now.
I've got to spend this in order to get this. Yeah.
So it's a tough game. I actually liked when we played on stream the Egyptian one because of the way the movement worked on
it works differently.
It was different, and you know what? That's really cool. I like that each map is going to offer you something different. You said it might be same after. Well, that might be true, but
I'm not sure of that, because it all depends on how those maps change it up. And there's like 5 or 6 maps in there.
And you can also play it on a slightly harder mode too, because there's different levels of difficulty for each of them. For me, it just worked a lot. Like, it worked a lot, and the artwork, just the whole visual aspect of this game is stunning. So I was very impressed by this game. So I'm glad we got to play it.
As well. The Art Project from the Op.
Yep.
My number 1 game
is the same
as your number 1 game.
Which I'm a bit surprised it's your number 1, but I'm also not surprised because it's really good.
The reason why it is my number 1 is probably close to the same reason why it is your number 1, because it reminds us so much of a game that we have already talked about on this stream. It reminds me anyway, so much of Teach You.
A little bit.
But different scoring, completely different scoring.
Yeah.
So
our number 1 is
Mighty.
Mighty.
From Korea Board Games.
I love it. I love it so much.
So here's the thing. Wow. I had fireworks going off. It's New Year's Eve, guys. I think it was the first or second time that I went to China. We took a boat trip out to where they have these drawings that were created like 2,000, 2,500 years ago on these cliff walls. And on the boat ride out there, these old Chinese boatmen, there were 3 of them. They taught me how to play this Chinese game where you don't know who your partner is until a certain card has been played. And I never found out the name for it. When I look on BGG, they call it like either Big 2 or Big 3. But the rules were slightly different, what these guys taught me. So it was some sort of a regional variant of that game. But the thing that stuck out to me, obviously not that it was trick taking, but the fact that you had a hidden partner that changed every single round of games that you played. You kept your own score, but you had a different partner all the time, but you didn't know who they were until they revealed themselves. And as someone who loves trick taking and hidden roll games, it was an instant lock for me.
So for me, I grew up playing kitty whist, so there's like this kitty involved in this game. So like not knowing what those 3 cards are could make all the difference in your hand if you win the bid. So that right there is a draw. Now I will compare this directly to the game called Mute, which you have a partner, a different partner each. You have 3 people versus 2 people, basically like this game. But when you get the bid, you have to declare who your partner is. The way in Mighty is as Michael said, it's more of a hidden role in that of the 4 other people, one person is your partner. They know it, but they want to play, so they're not obvious about it necessarily because you're trying to win points in these different tricks. So
trying to set the person who sets the bid and their hidden partner.
Yes.
You're trying to set them as all of the other people.
The other people.
So the game is designed to play exactly 5. You can play with 4.
There's a dummy player called Larry that we named.
I can't Larry.
We named him Larry.
I can't remember if it plays 3. I think it might. With 6, there's somebody who sits out, but they don't sit out, and it was sort of weird. I was like, no, just go ahead and play it with 5.
Or 4. It works okay with 4.
If you've got 4, play Teach You. If you've got 5...
That's true, play Teach You.
This is the thing. If you've got 5, which often happens with Teach You, it's like, oh, we already have our 4 to play Teach You. Oh, well, I was also thinking about playing. Well, hey, let's play Mighty. And so... I think it was Dan who had met, you told me through Dan told me through you told you and you told me that he enjoyed the elegant way that it scores. In that the score is a closed economy. Now everyone starts with 40 points.
I think Jeff said it, but
was it Jeff?
People agreed at the table.
Because you were up in Massachusetts when we were talking about all of this.
Yeah.
But it's cool that let's say that the person who sets the bid ends up ultimately getting a 6, a +6. What happens is the person who set the bid gets double that, which is 12. The partner gets 6, 1 times that score, and everyone else loses that amount. So those 3 players go down 18, you go up 6, I go up 12, so we go up 18. All of the points are still contained in
the 5.
The world, you know what I'm saying, within those 5 players.
It's an elegant scoring system.
And either when 10 rounds have been played or 1 player goes below 0, the game is over.
Yeah, and it's an easy thing. Like all the face cards are 1 point, aces are 1 point, but there's a super trump called the Mighty, which is a 1 card ace card that is the best card in the game.
There's also a Joker card and a Joker call card.
Yeah, you can call for the Joker.
Call for the Joker. When you're setting the bid, you're also setting the trump suit, or you are saying that you want no trump, or you are saying you don't want a partner. In which case you are going to get a lot more, but you've got 4 definite people trying to attack. Now, how do you find out who your partner is? You will say, when you make your bid, you will say, first thing is you're going to look at the kitty, which is all the leftover cards.
So good.
Let's say there's 3 cards in the kitty. You're going to take those, put them in your hand. You're going to put three cards of any 3 cards and put them in your scoring pile. They are already pre-scored. They might be scoring cards, which again are the 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace.
Yeah.
Which are the ones you want. Those 20 points are the only points that you can get. Just those 5 cards. Anyway, you put 3 cards down, pre-score them, and then you say, I want the Ace of Diamonds. Whoever has the Ace of Diamonds is my teammate. Maybe you say Ace of Diamonds because you've got the King, Queen, Jack, and you don't want to lose the lead to someone who is not your partner. Or maybe you're filling in a hole somewhere in your trump suit. Like I've got Ace and King, I don't have the Queen.
Or maybe you ask for the Mighty.
Or maybe I ask for the Mighty. which would normally be the ace of spades.
Yep.
I believe it is. So you can't ask for the Joker, but you can usually find ways to.
Or if you see somebody bidding aggressively in another suit, maybe they have a really good something else that you don't have good, and then you ask for them as your partner.
Yep.
So.
And Steph has been asking a lot for hearts. I think she's got a really good hand. I'm going to call for the ace of hearts, and maybe we can run the table.
That's right. That's the hope, right?
That's the
heart.
That's the
a heart.
That's the heart. That's the hope that you have hearts.
So anyway, I love trick taking games. I love trying them. However, they don't often make my list. They don't often make me want to play them again.
You know why?
Because nothing compares to.
Because you compare them to teach you, and you shouldn't compare them to teach you.
But if there's such a great game, I just want to always play that.
This list is not the top 10 games that you would pull off the shelf outside of December 2023. This video is the top 10 games you played in December 2023. If it is worthy, if it is mighty enough, you gotta list it. You gotta.
Listen. I want to play trick-taking games because I like the genre. I want to find great ones, but they never end up being great. This is great.
I think so.
This is a great game.
Aldi, Happy New Year to you. We are just wrapping up our top 10. And thanks for the subscription. You are awesome.
Yes, thank you, Aldi. We made it to our number 1 position of December.
Which is this?
It's mighty.
You need to play it.
It is really good.
Hey, we can play it at BGGCon.
Yep. You don't even need the game to play it. You can use a regular deck.
You can use a regular deck of cards, but you should support your publishers. Go out and buy a copy of this. Hopefully this gets US distribution. Currently,
I hope so.
You can pick it up from Korea Board Games. If you end up with a Korean language copy, it won't say mighty like this. It will be 3 Korean letters, 3 Korean symbols. If you get a copy like that, do not worry. There are rules online that you can get, and like I said, everything looks like a normal deck of cards.
Yep. So the rules, apparently the Korea Board Games changed it slightly from the original 1975 rules or whatever, so it's not that big of a change or anything, but definitely read up on it. I think like college kids created this in the 70s or something, and you know what, it works and it's great, and I'm happy that Korea Board Games decided to publish it again because it's a game I want to play more of for sure.
Yep. So
there are not many games that play great with 5. This is one of them.
And Mighty.
Okay, 2 games.
2 games. If you've got 4, play Teach You. If you've got 5, for sure.
I'm not sure if it's out now, but if not, it'll be out really soon.
Yeah, we do have a copy, so.
Yeah. Korea Board Games likes to send things early too, though, so I'm not sure.
Not sure.
But it's worth seeking out.
So, recap of our games. With my accidental 11th choice, because I sneaked one in the middle. My number 11 is Clubs from North Star Games. Number 10, Get On Board, Paris and Roma from Yellow and Flat River Group. Number 9, Keep It 100 from Cut Games. Number 8, The A.R.T. Project from the Op. Number 7, Mystery Detective Volume 1 Classic Cases, which y'all played with us on stream. Number 6, Last Light from Gray Fox. Number 5, Age of Wonders Planetfall from Arcane Wonders. Number 4, Mobile Markets, also from Arcane Wonders. Number 3, Harry Potter Unmask the Death Eaters from the Op. Number 2, King of Monster Island from Yellow and Flat River Group. And number 1 is Mighty from Korea Board Games.
That's right. My number 10, White Castle from DeVere Games. Number 9, Redwood from Sit Down, provided by Flat River Group. Number 8 is King of Monster Island from Yellow and Flat River Group. Number 7 is Faraway from Catch Up Games, which I found on Board Game Arena. Number 6 is Dracula versus Van Helsing from Korea Board Games, also that I found on Board Game Arena. Number 5 is Get On Board Paris and Roma from Yellow and Flat River Group. Number 4 is Tipperary from Lookout Spiel. Number 3 is Age of Wonders Planetfall from Arcane Wonders. Number 2 is The Art Project from The Op. And number 1 is Mighty from Korea Board Games.
Awesome. So be sure to join us on Wednesday, where we will have our top 23 games of 2023. That's going to be super exciting.
We'll try not to get into too much detail because there's a lot.
Because we're going to move right along.
There's a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
Right.
So I have to plan that, but it's going to be good.
Yep.
We had a good year.
Absolutely.
I already know like 5 off the top of my head.
650 games for you.
I learned 650 games, so it's a lot to like get through.
And then you stopped.
But having these top 10s every month will be helpful for narrowing it down.
Right. Well, we have a nice little spreadsheet where we keep track of all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, this number 1 over here, this number 1 over here, this number 2 over here. And so I'm all ready to go.
Yeah. Heroic Logic says it's great games that you can't get. But you know what?
This sounds like a Z Garcia review of great games you can't get.
You can
get
a lot of these. Play it, which is good. So if you really wanted to try it, you can. Because it's a deck of cards for Mighty.
Exactly.
So
and then you'll know whether you want to purchase it. I mean, go get the rules from BGG. It's right there.
It's right there. It's so good. I highly recommend playing it.
That's right. And that is our top 10 games that we learned in December 2023, which we usually do this video the first stream we do of each month. Fortunately, it's December 31st.
Yep.
If you couldn't tell from the pops, you'll hear the little fireworks outside. But come join us the first week of each new month, and we have one of these videos for you every single month. So check us out on YouTube at BoardGamerSteph, or come join us on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central, where we stream through 3 games or more every single stream. So come join us on Twitch, where we play all the games.
And for those on Twitch, we'll be right back.